What's up everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Gamepass in Review. My name is Kevin, aka the Muffin Mon, and this week we're taking a look at Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition, developed by and published by Square Enix. The original version released in 2017, but this version came to Game Pass in December 2020. Ridiculous name for a game, but is it as bad as the title? Well, I've got some thoughts on that. Now, I love a good JRPG. I've been playing JRPG since I was a kid. The Tales of series is probably my favorite JRPG series of all time, if not gaming series of all time. So this is not my first go-round with the genre, whether it be Final Fantasy, Persona, Yakuza, Pokemon. I know my way around JRPGs. But I've never played Dragon Quest. I was told 11 was good, my brother said it was good, the reviews are great, Hero was put in Smash, so it must be good. You play as nameless protagonist 11, but for the purposes of this review, we're going to refer to him as Hero, like they do in Smash. One day, by a stroke of luck, Hero discovers that he's the luminary, the bringer of light and savior of the world. So of course, his town tells him to get out and go do it. You set off on your journey with nothing more than a vague task. Along the way, you're imprisoned, framed as the bringer of darkness, but you meet your ragtag group of companions, and you set off to save the world, all while engaging in basic turn-based combat against silly cartoon enemies. The game is split into 3 acts, with Act 1 being the longest, and oh boy does it show. Act 1 can only be described as a slog at points, but if there is ever a point to drop this game, it's the start of Act 2. No spoilers, but you play as each of the party members individually, and my word is it painful to get through. Perhaps it wouldn't be so bad if there were more than 2 or 3 interesting characters, but the majority of the party are downright intolerable. Jade, Eric, Serena, and Veronica are the only characters I can actually stand. Act 2 does pick up and can actually be done very quick, but towards the end there's a massive difficulty spike with the final bosses being much more difficult than anything you've encountered before. So you gotta grind, and that's not fun. Act 3 takes a complete turn and is completely missable if you think you're done after the credits of Act 2. There's an entire story arc hidden behind the credits. The problem is Act 3 is that 90% of it is grinding, and not a small amount. You gotta grind 20 to 30 levels in order to beat the actual final boss of this game and get what I feel isn't a great ending. The whole third act starts great, but as quickly has me asking, why is this worth my time? My main problem with this story is that it's so cookie cutter for a JRPG. It's so basic, there's no depth, there's no plot twists, but much more than that, Square decides to tell the story in such a roundabout way, and it's so cumbersome. There's so many battles that should be cut from this game. There's a whole arena sequence where you literally can't lose. I don't think you could lose at the start of Act 2 either when you're playing individually, but they just make you play all these battles out. I hate doing things that serve no real purpose. You're just having me go through the motions, and it's so frustrating. Just make it a cutscene and let me get on with my life. In terms of gameplay, the game plays well enough. It's basic, but that isn't a bad thing. You have a massive skill tree that allows for a decent amount of customization. Each character has the standard archetype. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I did enjoy the combat. One thing I think the game does well is allowing Hero to fast travel via the spell Zoom at any point in any dungeon to get anywhere you've ever been. One aspect of the gameplay I don't like is the crafting system. Crafting is unique to this game, but that's not a good thing. You have to do this little mini game where you have to heat up a furnace and smash the items with your hammer and get them in these bars. I found it annoying, and having to guess how much the bar is going to go up depending on what hit you use. The strikes never seemed consistent to me. I get they're trying to do something unique, but it just doesn't work. There's no bugs in the game, but you can certainly tell this is a port of the Switch version. Even on my Series X, the game has textures loading in late. It isn't optimized at all, and for some reason, when left in quick resume, continues tracking playtime, which makes it look like I've put 800 hours into the game. While I enjoy the anime art style done by Akira Toriyama, it is so immersion-breaking when all the people in the town look exactly the same. How the children look like adults but shrunken down, and how everyone just looks like a character ripped straight out of Dragon Ball. It's so off-putting, and the main antagonist looks like Captain Ginyu. When I run into a Mr. Popo clone, and when I talk to a child as Vegeta's face with Gohan hair, now this version is just bad. It does have the ability to play in 2D, and the entire area devoted to this, it's just I can't stand it. I don't know why this was a feature they wanted to put in the game, maybe as a callback to the original series, but why would I waste my time doing this? It doesn't look good, it's not fun. I can't be bothered. Talking about the environment and the soundtrack and atmosphere, I think the soundtrack is actually good at first, but hearing 60 hours of the same track over and over again, I eventually just turned the music off. I would never tell anyone not to play this game, and I can see why people enjoy it. I can see the replay value it has, just like every other JRPG. There's side quests, which I eventually gave up on because they're fetch quests for the most part. Go beat this one enemy, and the post game grind, you can get hundreds of hours out of it. However, if the game's not on Game Pass, I wouldn't spend $60 on this. In the end, Dragon Quest XI is fine, but very uninspired in my opinion. Personally, for me, Project X Talk is going to give Dragon Quest XI S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition a 6.5 out of 10.